I was recently asked to share more about my journey with chronic pain and my master's research. If you're new here, hi, I'm Kirsten and I post about science in a way that you can understand. When I was 13, I fell backwards during basketball practice right on my tailbone. And I ended up having excruciating chronic pain for 3 years of my life. I saw family doctors, chiropractors, physio. I did medications. I did steroid injections into my spine. You name it, I probably tried it. I got CTs done and there was no break, no fracture. So what we were looking at wasn't a physical issue anymore that you could see. The underlying issue that caused it actually wasn't a problem anymore. The real problem was that my nerves in the lower back were oversensitized to stimuli. So that's a phenomenon called hyperalgesia, which is when your nerves in a specific area become hypersensitive to touch. And so that could mean that a touch just like this may feel normal to you, but to my lower back at that time, it felt like excruciating pain. So what we had to do was actually very simple. We had to retrain the nerves in my lower spine not to be hypersensitive to touch anymore. And what this meant in practice was that a few times a day, one of my family members would take an object. So if you picture like your back is a grid all the way down to your lower butt, they would poke in one of the little squares with either a pencil, a pen, an eraser, or a feather. And I would have to identify which object they were using and which square they were poking me in. So the whole concept behind that is doing pain reprocessing. It's trying to show the nerves in your back how to reassociate a stimulus that is safe, like a pen or a pencil or an eraser or a feather. So by me having to identify what object it was and where it was, it's pairing that stimulus with the idea that that is a safe sensation to feel. That I would say that the activity was obviously very helpful, but it was so much more than that. After I finally understood what was going on with my body, it reframed the entire way that I thought about my pain. So previously to knowing this, every time I sat down, I would think, this is harmful to me, this is going to prolong my healing, this is bad for me to do. Like with any other injury, you sprain your ankle, obviously it's not good to be on it right away if it's still hurting. So that's the mindset that I had around my pain. And then once I was told by this amazing healthcare team that actually I needed to change the way that I think about it, I had a huge shift in my mindset. So every time I sat down, I actually thought, this is safe for me, this is helpful for me, and this is going to help me heal. I just need to tell my body that sitting down is a safe thing that it can do, and it's actually not a threat anymore. It was at one point when I was injured. Sitting on it was bad for me, but it is no longer bad for me, and I just need to give my body and my brain time to catch up to knowing that. So it was really a huge shift in my mindset, and 3 months later, the pain was gone. And I promise you, I've now studied this for 3.5 years. Your brain is much powerful than you think it is, and what you think about your pain really does matter. Since going through this whole journey with chronic pain, I graduated high school with hopes of going into medicine. And then I did a Bachelor of Science in biology at Acadia University, where I met a professor that was studying exercise neuroscience. So with his help, we ended up publishing a paper on the effects of exercise for pain and how it affects your brain function. Since then, I've done my master's in health and exercise sciences at the University of British Columbia, Okanagan in Kelowna, BC. And it was here where I worked under one of the leading researchers for spinal cord injury and physical activity research in the world. I'm extremely grateful for my journey. It was a hard one, but it's really opened up a path for me to help others. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.